What's up, good vibes soul? Welcome on today's episode. On this one, we shall be reacting together to good vibes videos. Extremely good vibes videos. I wouldn't want you to miss out on any part of the videos. So, I won't tell much about them. But you, my friend, be expectant to be shocked, to be taught something new, to laugh along the way, and to even come across mysterious stuff. And all of these things, we shall be going through them, my friend, to spread our message of honesty to the whole world, forgiveness, constant repentance from our Creator, my friends, unity, and the greatest of all, love. Loving your neighbor the way you love yourself. We shall be spreading that message together to the whole world, my friend. So subscribe, hit that like button if you haven't, and sit comfortably. But before we dive in, my friend, there is food here, and it's not ordinary food, it's food for the soul. Straight from this book, my friend, called the Book of Wisdom. Listen to what it says. It's a short story. I had two places, so here, this is a short story. This is what it says. I am not. Then the Jews answered him, aren't we right in saying that you are a Samaritan and demon possessed? I am not possessed by a demon, said Jesus, but I honor my Father, and you dishonor me. I am not seeking glory for myself, but there is one who seeks it, and he is the judge. I tell you the truth. If anyone keeps my word, he will never see death. At this, the Jews exclaimed, now we know that you are demon possessed. Abraham died, and so did the prophets. Yet you say that if anyone keeps your word, he will never taste death. Hmm. That is from John 8:49-48 going down. Good vibe soul. The love of the Lord our Maker is to spread love amongst all earthlings. Let's talk with the Creator, my friend, before we dive in and ask for strength as we continue with our videos. Thank you, dear Lord Father, for your goodness. Thank you for always constantly reminding us of your love, Father. Thank you, dear Lord Father, for your greatness and uniqueness in creating this wonderful child, today's viewer that have joined us. Thank you for that gesture, Father. Dear Lord, as you bless this viewer through these videos, Father, and as you forgive them their sins, may you also include us, Father. Intervene in all aspects of our lives, Father, and give us peace and joy. Help us, dear Lord, and may your Spirit guide us. In your holy name, Jesus Christ, we pray, trusting and believing. Amen. Let's dive in, good web source. Much love.
When film and TV shows need an inexpensive option for fake snow, they'll often use these large sheets of what's basically a polyfill quilt batting. And it looks good in wide shots if it's applied properly, but in Tyler Perry's Why Did I Get Married, you see the edges, it looks bunched up in the middle, and maybe the wind caught it. And in the Santa Claus, if you look close, the jolly old elf catches his foot on the sheet and it just starts to roll up. And if you have to use a lot of layers to fluff it up, you definitely don't want people walking on it, like here in Dawson's Creek. This bothered my wife so much I couldn't comfort her. This method can be used effectively, but in these cases, I think the filmmakers owe us a blanket apology.
In 1965, the former president of Egypt, Gamal Abdel Nasser, said he couldn't respect the present Jews in Israel because they left Israel black and they came back white. Because they were Caucasians when they returned, a Turkic Mongol Asians from the Caucasus Mountains, the Russian steppes. Song of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 5. I am black but comely, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon. I am black. The Hebrew word there is shachar ha-anya. It literally translates to, I am dark-skinned. Strong's number, and I don't use Strong's numbers very often, but there's gonna be pushback. Strong's number 7838, shachar, from Strong's number 7835, dusky. So the word shachar means dusky. And if you look in the concise Oxford English Dictionary in the 10th edition, dusky means darkish in color, euphemistic of a person black and dark-skinned. And
so my cat knows his name very well, but he will not listen if Scott calls him. Go.
Oliver. Hey, Oliver. 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 Oliver.
Oliver!
Do you understand what demons are? Do you know where they came from? What they are? Or how they operate? What their goals are? Well, if you don't know, and you'd like to, I'll answer that in this video, to the best of my abilities. One of the issues that I have with the current 66 books of the canon is that it took out all of the text that gives insight into the spiritual realm. Unfortunately, because these texts were removed, the entire Christian church knows that demons exist on a certain level because it's in scripture. And because of Paul, they know that we do not wrestle against flesh and blood. But that's pretty much the extent of it, because the information is just not available unless you go looking for it. So, first off, starting out very basic, demons are not disembodied human spirits of your relatives or anything like that. If you have somebody showing up that's a disembodied spirit that looks like somebody who has died, or is your relative, or you're being visited by somebody that's appearing to be a human figure, they're not human spirits. And if they're pretending to be, it's a pretend, it's a joke, it's a deception. They're trying to get something from you. They are never human spirits, and they will never be human spirits. But they are disembodied spirits, though. I'll have to make more content about this because my last account got banned where I had in-depth information. But quick summary on like the old world religions. Fallen angels came down, mated with women. Before they did that, though, they did a bunch of genetic manipulation. They messed with the genetics of their women. They messed with human and animal hybrids, spiritual animal hybrids, and then human spiritual hybrids. The offspring of these spiritual beings with women created races. The most common is Nephilim, this race of giant beings, ranging in height. This is all before the flood. I don't care what the history books tell you. Civilization before the flood was even more advanced than our civilization is today. The fallen angels brought insane technology to the human race before its time. The angels taught sorcery, witchcraft, war, vanity. But these offspring that were giant couldn't consume enough food to sustain them. So they started turning on the human beings and eating them and their cattle instead. Chaos ensued. The human race was being obliterated by the giants, by the genetic manipulation, by the war. The entire world was filled with death and sin and lust. The blood spilt upon the earth cried out. So Yahuwah flooded the earth, saving Noah and his family, because Noah was righteous before Yahuwah and of pure genetics. Every human spirit comes from Yahuwah, comes from the Most High, and has a place to go after death. The spirits of these spirit-human hybrids, these Nephilim, did not come from the Most High. So there was no place for them to go when they died in the flood, which was the point. Those spirit-human hybrid offspring that died in the flood, they were spiritual and flesh. The flesh died, the spirits had nowhere to go, and now they roam this earth for centuries, for millennia, wanting bodies to inhabit, to act out their fleshly desires that they used to be able to do, but they can no longer. Because here's this thing, everything around us is energy, and our bodies are so special. The Creator designed our bodies with 5 senses to be able to take in the data, the raw energy around us, and translate it in a way that our brains can receive it and understand it and create the reality we live in. Our bodies then take in that energy and convert it. We are an energy conversion system, taking one form of energy and converting it into a usable form. We are given these bodies to interact in this reality, but also to manipulate this reality, to experience things, to feel emotions. Why do you think heavenly eternal beings would abandon their heavenly realm to come mate with women in the first place? It's because this world is beautiful and amazing, and bodies in this life is an incredible experience. So great that eternal beings abandoned that for this life, created offspring, and now their children, these demonic beings, want bodies again. This is where we get demonic possession. Because they are energy beings, they run on energy. Like we are physical beings and we consume matter, food, to sustain our physical bodies. Demons must consume energy to heal from spiritual battles that have been going on for centuries all around us. Yes, constant battles where they're getting injured and damaged and they must repair themselves. And demons didn't used to be as twisted and nasty as they are today. Over centuries, millennia of spiritual battles, they cannot die. They just continue to deteriorate and shrivel and wither away. The only sustenance in this life they can get is when they can feed on us, when they can cause us to gossip, they can soak up those nasty words. And they cause us to lash out in hate and react in our flesh that way. It causes It's an adrenaline response. What they want to do is trigger you. They will feed you thoughts and energies and things to trigger you into having adrenaline in the blood that makes you react in that. You snip and say hateful things. Now, the levels of control that demonic beings can have in your life depends on how often and how much you feed them and what you keep giving into them. If you continually give in to your rage, you'll move on from not being able to control your tongue in verbal outbursts to where someone's going to piss you off and you won't be able to control throwing punches. I've seen it happen. That's demonic. You want to know what else is demonic? The narcissist. That's an example of a demonic inhabitation in somebody, primarily called a Jezebel spirit. And this Jezebel spirit latches on to childhood wounds that says, I can't rely on anybody else. I'm the only one I can count on. And I can save you. Nobody else can. That twisted sense of self-grandizement for a narcissist is a shell. It's a cover to hide the demonic shame that's there. Their triggers result in control and manipulation and gaslighting and emotional back and forth. And honestly, a Jezebel person is not going to stay with somebody that they can't control. From a child, they had no control over their life, and now what they cling to the most is control, and it is the Jezebel spirit that allows them to do that. And in order for somebody to be freed of that Jezebel spirit, is they have to stop needing control. But unfortunately, it's bondage. And most narcissists don't ever find deliverance because they never want the change. They don't ever recognize that there's an issue. There's a Leviathan spirit. It's pride. It's a twisted serpent that takes root in the spine. It often works hand in hand with Jezebel. Jezebel is the liar, manipulator, and gaslighter, whereas Leviathan is rage, anger, and pride. And usually they're found in the same people. There are spirits, or you can consider them programs, as if we're all computers that can run different programs. Let's think of demonic beings as programs. If you are continually running a program of lust and you can't get out of it and you just find yourself in the same cycles, even as a believer, it's because it's demonic bondage. It's a program you're running. If you find yourself with addictions that you beat, you get sober, and then you fall back, and then you get sober again, you go back. Demonic. Now, when these demonic spiritual beings get enough energy and they get strong enough, they can start to manifest physically, which is where we get spiritual apparitions or even more dense things. There are weird creatures that are out in the Appalachians or in different mythology things that are actually these types of beings. But a vast majority of them do not have the ability to interact with this physical reality at all unless they can do it through a human host. And because they are energy beings, they can latch on to negative thought processes. They can latch on to lies that you tell yourself. They can latch on to unforgiveness and bitterness. They can latch on to sins that you've done and not repented for. The spirit realm works in permissions and legalities, and if a demon has permission to run code in your brain, they're gonna do it. They will stick around as long as you keep feeding them. Because getting you to give into your sin, to give into your flesh, is exactly what makes them stronger. And if you have demons in your life, I promise you they are going to keep you as far from the truth as possible. Christians can absolutely have demons, and many do. It's because that institution was intentionally designed to keep people trapped, not to set them free. And I'm begging you guys to see this before it's too late. Shalom, and I love you all.
Facts about the human body that you probably didn't know. Part 1. If somebody's fart is too strong to the point where you can taste it, you're basically tasting the bacteria from their ass. Your mind has a mind of its own. I don't know about that. There are literally no pain receptors in the brain. So that means if you have brain surgery, you literally won't feel the pain after, during, or anything. After you give birth, your baby's DNA is gonna still be in your body. There's a condition out there to where you can be allergic to yourself. Insane. The way your eyes are shaped causes your vision to be upside down. But the brain just flips the image so that you see things right side up. That's crazy. Since we're talking about eyes, once your immune system finds out that you have eyeballs, you then will instantly become blind. You can literally vomit poop. Come back for part 2, y'all, because these facts are crazy work. Come back for part 2 and follow for more.
What if I told you that everything you've been taught about spirituality is keeping you trapped in the matrix? I'm about to share with you 15 statements that will not make me very popular, but I'm going to share them anyway. 1. Reincarnation. The idea that we must return over and over to learn lessons keeps us trapped in linear time and karmic cycles. In truth, we are all one soul experiencing infinite expressions of self simultaneously. We are not learning, rather remembering and choosing. 2. Ascension. The belief that we must work toward higher consciousness suggests that we are not already there. In truth, we are already in the highest possible state of consciousness, Christ consciousness. The only work we have to do is to heal our vision, our perception, so we can see reality as it truly is. 3. Manifestation and the law of attraction. This obsession with manifesting material things keeps us in an endless desire and attachment. This reinforces the belief in lack and keeps us focused on the physical world rather than realizing that we are creators, not just manifestors. 4. Downloads. The idea that information comes from outside, from guides, from angels, from higher beings, keeps us disconnected from the truth that all knowledge, all wisdom is within us. There are no downloads. There's just activation of what has already been encoded inside each and every one of us. 5. Soul contracts. The belief that we made contracts before coming here implies fixed destinies and obligations. In reality, all realities exist simultaneously, and we shift timelines based on our choices, frequency, and awareness. The idea of predetermined agreements reinforces powerlessness. 6. We came here without memory. We do not come without memory. We are being programmed as soon as we are born in order to forget. Remembering is not about retrieving something that we lost, but shifting frequencies to align with the divine timeline. All the wisdom is already inside us. We just can't see it yet. 7, karma. The belief that we must repay karmic debt traps us in a cycle of guilt, shame, and limitation. We are pure beings, always have been, always will be. The moment we believe in karma, we already accept guilt and create the illusion of debt that must be paid. 8, sin and original guilt. The programming that we are inherently flawed or fallen makes us believe that we are separate from God. This is the ultimate illusion. The moment we accept guilt, we lower our vibration. In reality, we are divine, perfect, and whole. 9, Jesus is the only Son of God. The narrative that Jesus was the Son of God and we are lowly, pitiful sinners keeps humanity disempowered. Jesus himself said, "Ye are gods, and everything I can do, you can do, and better." The truth is, we are all the Christ. We are all divine. 10, earth is a school. The belief that earth is a school where we must suffer through lessons and reincarnate until we get it right keeps us in endless cycles of limitation. Earth is not a school. Earth is a playground. It's a realm for creation, for experience, for self-expression. We are God's version in physical state. Just like ice is water's version in solid state. The only thing stopping us from experiencing heaven on earth is the belief that heaven is outside ourselves. 11, myth of the great struggle. The idea that spiritual evolution must be hard, painful, and full of suffering is another program designed to make people fear growth. You know, the dark night of the soul, shadow work. Ooh. True awakening is about joy, play, lightness of heart. 12, the need for an external guru. The idea that someone else, a teacher, a master, a guru, holds the keys to enlightenment is yet another way of reinforcing separation. The ultimate truth, you are your own master. You are your own guru. All the wisdom of the universe is inside of you. You just have to ask, be still, and listen. 13, time is linear. The belief that past, present, and future are separate traps us in a false perception of reality. All time exists now, and we can shift instantly. Oh, and while I'm at it, the only reason birthdays, holidays, New Year celebrations are so highly marketed is because they remind us of time passing and our imminent death, when in fact we are eternal beings. 14, higher beings are more evolved than us. The idea that extraterrestrials, angels, or ascended masters are above us reinforces the illusion of hierarchy. In truth, we are all expressions of the same consciousness. 15, the need to earn divinity, the belief that we must do something to become enlightened, to read another book, to take another course, to go to another seminar, to hire another coach, implies that we are not already divine. The truth, you are God in form right now. The grand illusion, the cosmic joke, as Alan Watts would call it, separation from source. All these programs have one big goal: to reinforce the idea that we are separate from God, separate from our power, and separate from each other. The moment we dissolve this illusion, the entire matrix collapses, and we reclaim our infinite, eternal, and divine nature. This is the awakening humanity is stepping into right now. I love you.
So my mom told me I'm old enough to have all my paperwork. And I'm going through it looking for my birth certificate because I want to buy a passport. I see all these photos. When the hell did I go missing? And why was I never told? I saw this photo. I need to call my mom right now because why the fuck is there a photo of me with a missing sign? And I was looking at this. I was like, hold up. How many times did I go missing? Because this is for safeties, kids, and blah, blah, blah. So you rip this out when a kid goes missing. Why is it missing this whole cutout? Why was it cut out? George Jimenez? Dog, that is not my name. I don't know if they, like, made this as a joke when I was a kid, but who the hell is George Jimenez? Nah, bruh. I need to call my mom because why is this in the middle of all my paperwork? I never went missing. Come home soon, George. We all love and want you home. Okay. Why the hell is this here? And why am I missing this slip? 5 years old? Yeah, right.
Like, you see the white?
Yeah, you're white.
From what?
Did you just figure out you were white?
No, like, the real white. Just like the flashlight.
Well, because you're white, honey.
From what?
Because God made you white.
No, I'm not supposed to be this way.
What are you doing?
To wash the white off.
You can't wash the white off.
It's like spray paint.
Boy, it's not like spray paint. You are white.
It's like the white in colors.
Both white?
It kind of looks like that white.
All right, listen.
Toilet white.
Listen, turn my sink off.
It kind of looks like the toilet white.
Turn my sink off.
No, I'm washing the white off.
Boy.
Oh, you stupid white.
Piss take, get on this, lad. Bro, that's not a real sky. That's the roof.
Hey there, A-Hottie. You're currently in Caesar's Palace with the sky on the roof. And what if I told you that was more terrifying than you might know? My name is Brandon from Vegas. I give you guys all the insider tips around Vegas and places to eat. And the reason the roof is painted like that in the casino is the same reason that there's no clocks anywhere around you. In fact, if you see this video today, I hope you walk around Caesar's Palace and just look for clocks. Look for a clock anywhere. All of this is designed to ensure that you never know what time it is. They pump oxygen through the air ducts to make sure you always feel like you're just woken up in the morning. Even if it's 3 a.m., it feels like you are alive and ready to gamble. The same reason there's no right angles in your casino. They don't want you to make any decisions. So almost everywhere you walk in Caesar's Palace is kind of a circle or just kind of a gesture to go somewhere. Every single inch of the casinos you walk in are designed to keep you there, gambling, spending money for as long as time until you leave. So enjoy the scenery, enjoy the fun, enjoy the opulence, but please understand it doesn't look like the sky because it's cute. It's because they always want you to think that it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Something everyone should know about themselves is how your brain reacts when you're reminded that you're gonna die. We cheat death subconsciously so that we can function in 3 main ways. The first one is just a story where you actually don't die. So this is either clinging to your religious story, clinging to reincarnation, clinging to hints in near-death experiences so that you don't have to face it at all. If you remind people that they're going to die, even subtly, even just like brimming in your subconscious, they're more likely to all of a sudden want to attend church, and they're also more likely to cling to their religious story as true. The second way is symbolic immortality. This is like that line in Hamilton that says, God help and forgive me. I want to build something that's going to outlive me. What do you want, Bert? So maybe when you're reminded that you're going to die, you work on your legacy, on your foundation, on your business. Also, having children is a way that we have symbolic immortality. So maybe you focus on your children. Another really sneaky way that the brain does symbolic immortality is by getting closer to your group. So if you invite Christians and Jews into a chapel, they'll usually just sit together. You can actually measure how far apart they sit from one another. They'll start talking to their neighbor, no problem. If you actually show them a video reminding them that they're going to die before they enter that chapel, the Christians will sit with the Christians, the Jews will sit with the Jews, and you can actually measure that they're sitting further apart from someone who is other. We also do this with ideas. So if you remind a judge that they're going to die before their caseload, they're more willing to be harsh on their sentences, more likely to be harsh on their sentences. And that is because the law is the thing that's bigger than them, that they are a part of, that will outlive them. And so their symbolic immortality is being part of the rule of law. And so they will give harsher sentences and not know why. And the last one is just distraction. So we can do studies that show that you can remind people that they're going to die even in really subtle ways, and you can watch their purchasing history, and you can see that there's a spike of going on Amazon and buying things because they were reminded they're going to die, and they're finding ways to distract themselves. Now, most people are not aware of what they do when they're reminded that they're going to die. They don't even know how much their brain is running this program, compartmentalizing this so that you can function.